an absolutely crazy story. So 54 Palestinians have been killed in the Gaza fence in the same day that the U.S. Embassy in Israel moved to Jerusalem, and it opened there, and Jared Kushner was there, and he was being all douchebaggy, and, you know, all that stuff, and obviously, like I covered at the time, the move of the embassy to Jerusalem, basically recognizing it as their capital, when basically the Palestinians want part of Jerusalem for their state when the supposed two-state solution actually works out. But when you do that, you destroy all peace negotiations, and on top of that, you dump your position, because now you go, okay, you're not really into getting peace. You just want to get Israel everything you can. So why would they trust him? And Abbas came out saying, oh, you know, we can no longer look at the U.S. as being a mediator, because clearly they're just in the bunk for Israel. So we're now looking to the UN as a mediator for peace. And so he constantly destroys our diplomacy, like he did with the Iran deal. Now, over 2,400 Palestinians were wounded, and it's really crazy because 54 people being killed. This is the most violent day that there has been since the 2014 Gaza war, which is absolutely fucking crazy. Reports were that 90% of the killings were civilians. And so what you're looking at here is there were some Palestinians throwing rocks or tires. And so the Israeli response was, and by the way, that's not all of the people that were killed. All the people that were killed were not using that. They were just shooting on crowds. But in response to that, they started using live fire and actually killing people. Again, over 50 people are dead and over 2.4 thousand. And as I'm recording this, the number's for surely going to go up. It's definitely going to rise at the time of this recording. So it's fucking disgusting. And I've already gone into depth, absolutely into depth, as to why Netanyahu is not only a horrible human being, but that he really is destroying the possibilities for world peace in any way, shape, or form. And it's pretty fucking scary as it's going on now. And Netanyahu needs to be removed, you know, and possibly, I think he should be put in jail. He's responsible for the killings of literally hundreds of thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands civilians in between the Gaza war in 2014 and now we're looking at now. There have been over 9,000 wounded in the past, I think it was the past couple weeks, or ever since the move was announced to move it to Jerusalem. And so it's really invigorating because nobody really bats an eye at this. Like, people are starting to voice their opinions, but it's not really a mainstream thing. And, you know, the news headlines have been shit in themselves. There's a New York Times headline that said it was beginning where it said dozens of Palestinians dead in preparation for UN move to Jerusalem. So they say it as in they just died. They don't specify that Israel killed them. That is what the headline should say, but they're trying to be really passive and nice to Israel. And Israel is just becoming fucking ridiculous. And it's really pissing me off because now thousands of people are being wounded, hundreds of people are being killed, and it's fucking disgusting. And if you break it down, what you're looking at is, okay, worst case scenario, right? Worst case scenario, or best case of argument for people who are apologists, in this case for Israel. You say, okay, they were throwing rocks. What was their response? Kill them, shoot them with live fire, spray them down like they're animals, spray them down like they're herds of people. You can't fucking do that. And not only do the Palestinians have grounds for what they're doing, but even if I were to concede to you, okay, let's say hypothetically all of them were throwing rocks, which they weren't, by the way. The response you can have to someone throwing rocks is not, we have guns, tear gas, etc., etc., let's fucking mow them down. Like, this isn't Call of Duty. This is not you train together zombies and then mow them down. This is real fucking life. You can't just mow people down for throwing some fucking rocks. Like, what the fuck is that? You can't do that. That's fucking ridiculous. So, best case scenario is, oh shit, the response was way out of line and these people need to be jailed because they've killed people. They've killed civilians. They've killed people. And by the way, not all the people that were killed or wounded had thrown rocks. A lot of them were just literally unarmed innocent protesters. 2,400 were wounded. 54 as of now dead, and I'm sure that they will rise, and it's fucking disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. But we're going to be looking at here Ann Coulter. You guys know Ann Coulter. She's had her fair share of disgusting remarks on the Palestinian conflict, and those also came up during the 2014 Gaza war. She's now adding on to that list. She was basically quote tweeting an article that was, depicting what was going on. And the New York Times article says, breaking news, Israel responded with rifle fire to a mass attempt by Palestinians to cross a border fence, killing at least 28, Palestinian officials said. She responds to that by saying, can we do that? Yes, that's right. Ann Coulter said, can we do that? Now, what is she referencing? She's saying, can we kill Mexican immigrants coming into the border? People who are unarmed, who are trying to enter the country. Can we literally kill them? Like, have them die because they're trying to cross the border? Has all hell broken loose? What the fuck how is this person not shunned by society? I don't understand, because not only is this disgusting, but if you're on Twitter, I recommend reporting her for incitement of violence, because that's what this is, inciting violence. You're inciting violence towards people crossing the border. Can we do that? What she's saying is, can we kill Mexican immigrants crossing the border? That is incitement of violence. Not only that, but it's just fucking disgusting. What sort of a horrendous, despicable, repulsive, repugnant, just terrible human being do you have to be to suggest or to ask the question of, can we shoot down people who are not a physical threat to us? Remember, this is the number one rule. This is the overarching rule when it comes to whether or not you can kill someone who's breaking a law or doing something like that. The only time you can kill them is if they are of physical threat to your livelihood, to the person's livelihood. And they're not. So you can't just kill people crossing the border because they're not of direct physical threat to you. In fact, I would argue that they'd never want to do that. That's what they're trying to escape from. Why the fuck would they do that? And so, this is just disgusting, man. What is our political dialogue dumbed down to when we have past right banana dumbasses like Ann Coulter literally inciting violence of killing Mexican immigrants crossing the border? We have Benjamin Netanyahu, who's the prime minister of Israel, and we are backing Israel massively. I mean, it's fucking crazy. It's absolutely lunacy. Absolute lunacy, and we have Donald Trump as our president.